Good afternoon and good morning. This is Mark Johnson from Loyalty360. Hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. Want to welcome you to another edition of our Loyalty360 Award recap. In this series, we will hear from award finalists who were part of the 2024 Loyalty Expo in Orlando, Florida in June. Kampgrounds of America was a finalist at the Loyalty Expo in the Corporate Social Responsibility and Loyalty category, as well as the brand-to-brand partnership. They took home gold in the former and silver in the later. And today we have the pleasure of speaking with Michael Peters. He's the Director of Corporate Partnerships at KOA. How are you today, Michael?
Doing well, doing very well.
Excellent. Your two award submissions, Corporate Social Responsibility and Loyalty and Brand-to-Brand Partnerships. Can you give us an overview of the two award entries from the 2024 Loyalty Expo and what stood out with each one?
Sure. Yeah. For the corporate social responsibility, we do so much, and so I think it's kind of hard to focus on one, or really hard to kind of talk about all of it. So we focused on one, and that was last year we launched this Get Out There Adventure Bag program, and the purpose of it was really to try to get equipment, outdoor equipment. We were heard through other research that was a hurdle and a barrier for kids, especially youth, to get outdoors. So they feel like they didn't have the right stuff. And so we're like, well, we can help that. We've got partnerships and people we could gather the right stuff for you and make you feel comfortable and safe and give you bug spray and a first aid kit or whatever you might need to kind of, make that, more comfortable. And so that was kind of, and again, the thing on that too, was it wasn't an intention to try to get people on a KOA campground. Obviously that's who we are, but we're just trying to get kids outdoors. And so for this particular entry, for the loyalty program was we just concentrated on that program that we did, because we worked with a lot of partners in it to get it facilitated, and we leveraged the Boys and Girls Club in New York, and help us to get those bags out to kids and get them outdoors. And we see the play into the loyalty program key, and I'll speak that later. But I mean, I think the corporate social responsibility and loyalty, go hand in hand because it speaks right to your customer base. The other one, that brand-to-brand partnerships, was my role here at KOA is the Director of Corporate Partnerships, and we see partnerships as like a key part of our business strategy, in that between RV industry and the outdoor industry and travel industry, that we want to align with them. We're all targeting the same customer, just in different verticals. And so why not work together in that and talk to each other in that? We're not threatened by each other. Again, we play off each other. If somebody's booking a trip and going on a weekend getaway, they're going to essentially be using a lot of those components or whatnot. So we might as well, do it together. And so part of that entry that we did for the Loyalty360 Expo was speaking into how we've kind of brought, some of these partners together and how they overlap, to that customer base.
Excellent. Aside from receiving recognition to the success of the program from award programs like Loyalty360 or Loyalty Processes, should I say, what are one or two things that you are most proud of when it comes to your brand's corporate social responsibility efforts?
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate that question. I think the biggest thing with KOA that I'm most proud of is the fact that first of all, we understand that, like I was kind of alluding to before, we understand that corporate social responsibility impacts loyalty, right? People want to be part of brands that care about what they care about, and they see those brands in action, doing things in the community. We think that's a key component to growing your loyalty program and growing loyal customers, is that you have a strong CSR program that actually speaks to the stuff they care about. I think the other part of it, when I think about KOA, in that, is like I was kind of saying before, that we kind of have our hands in so many different areas, because we're kind of an outdoor brand, but we're also in the travel industry, and again, we kind of also dip a little bit in the automotive because we have so many RVs that visit us. Is that we on the corporate social responsibility piece of it, we do so much with environmental protection and conservation. We have a whole program in here called Camp Green that leans into that. But then on the other side, again, some of those community plays where we can kind of get youth into the outdoors, get them excited about camping, or just excited about getting outside in general. We roll that right into that, and I'm proud that KOA sees how, again, those aren't in conflict with each other, and really kind of tries to lean into to both and with that, and how that affects the loyal customer at the end of it.
Excellent. One of the topics of the conference, as you know, is brands are looking to redo or enhance their customer loyalty efforts. You manage a successful program. When you look at the success that you've had, are there a thing or two that you're doing well that you would recommend or suggest to someone else who may be looking to change their customer loyalty efforts or address that, make them better?
Man, the biggest thing I think, and it might be a little cliche, but just looking what the customer wants. I think it's easy for us as brands, or get in our corporate world or in the office, and we're looking through the stuff with the filter of our business model or our bottom line or revenue generating, or especially like on the marketing team, we're like, how's this converting reservations. But I think, like, when we think about a customer loyalty program, and with brand partnerships especially, it's like, how can I take a step back and see, okay, what do I want? What do I care about? If, like, for my family, right? Running to the store, creating a weekly schedule, planning a trip. What are the concerns that me or my customers, would have on a much more granular basis? What are their fears? What are their hangups, their pain points, their stressors? Inflation. Is it economics? Like, we need to be more, price conscious. Those type of things. They don't want to travel far away. Let's figure out how we can really promote stuff. So when I look at like that, I guess any advice I would say is, try to get out of the office, get out of your head, or get out of the business side of things, and look at it from the much more granular, customer centric thing, and what's going to make their life easier, more efficient, kind of better in the long run. That's not necessarily going to drive more traffic or business to your bottom line. And in that, usually I come up with, I'm seeing what, I guess I'm seeing what's needed out there, or seeing what their stressors are, and I'm looking to play to that, or looking to give to that, or find a benefit or a perk, that I can put in our rewards program that's going to speak to that.
Excellent. And when you look at the KOA program, you continue to evolve the program, continue to add value and benefits as you discussed. What's next for the KOA program? Well, what are you going to do to make it even stronger than it currently is?
It's perfect as it is, right, Mark? I mean, it's
Yeah.
okay. No, I think, in short answer, I think advancement is the technologies, right? I mean, we see what AI is doing. For me, and for with KOA, how can we leverage technologies for that reward member and our loyalty member, where they can redeem something, they can redeem a reward that's faster, that's maybe outside of our system, right? We can take care of the ones that's inside of our system, but if they're redeeming an award that's some kind of reward that's a third party or whatever, how do we make that transaction cleaner and faster, more efficient? And then if we find those collaborative partners, how can we maybe integrate our membership profiles, so that we can do more together faster, right? So if we're using the same, I look like our fuel partners, for instance, a lot of them use your phone number as when you're pay at the pump or whatever, you put in your phone number to get that, extra 5 cents off or whatever a gallon. Well, that's great. I'm like, okay, well, we've got their phone numbers too. How can we match those together? And so then we're sending a text message to their phone that's saying, KOA is giving you a free bag of ice with a fill up, right? And so when they're doing that, as soon as they punch in their number, they get this alert from KOA, or vice versa. that's kind of allowing that. So it's like more of our loyalty programs talking to each other with advanced technologies.
Michael, thank you very much for taking the time to share a bit about the program, share a little bit about your vision for the program, and also be able to share the great success. So thank you very much for taking the time. Thank you for taking the opportunity to meet us in Orlando, and looking forward to hearing more from your team in the coming year. And thank you everyone else who joined us today. Make sure you join us back for another edition of our Loyalty Recap series soon. Until then, have a wonderful day.